This week on the Race Report, Thunder Mountain wraps up their 2016 season, and we remember one of the greatest who left us last week. Action and memories on this edition of the Race Report. Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of the Race Report. I'm Ron Hills. Thunder Mountain Speedway wrapped up their 2016 season on Sunday with the running of the Wade Decker Memorial. We go first to the 602 Sportsman feature where Pat Jordan was the early leader.
Iannone not starting here, but Pat Jordan showing the way right now in that number 25 machine. Ryan Ellsdorf right there second, Brian Mady third. Down on the inside, here comes Mike Austin in the number 9. Mike Nagel Jr. in trouble up on the outside, then he gets it going. Must have popped out of gear or was getting some bad gas, something. Hang on, 5R, where are you going? This is the 20 or the 25 lap right.
Down the back straightaway, Shane Spoonhauer in the 34 going upstairs. He sweeps around Bob Stoll. Here comes Dustin Jordan. Jordan way down on the inside. He'll nip that Uke tire way down on the bottom on the home straightaway. Jordan and Bob Stoll going after. Here comes Kenny Hammond, the Hunt's Auto Service wagon. But up front, they're all chasing Pat Jordan.
Leaders will get into some lap traffic here as they motor. There are three guys battling in the back of the pack. They'll catch them. Here comes Brian Mady, your 2016 track champion here. Looking to the inside of the rookie champion, or runner-up, Ryan Ellsdorf.
Ryan Ellsdorf holding his own, drops to third now with the track champion going by him. But look now, we're going to have a 6-car battle for the lead as Spoonhauer and Dustin Jordan, two of the young guns in the division, they're starting to run down the leaders.
Green is out, Mady on the outside. The 2016 track champion, the 2015 track champion, and a regular brouhaha.
Shane Spoonhauer coming upstairs. Jordan's going to try and block the bottom. Spoonhauer 3 wide, way up to the top side of 1 and 2. He might sweep by them both.
Oh, then we stack them up behind him. Caution is out as we stack them up like cordwood. Here they come. Brian Mady, Pat Jordan, Spoonhauer. Way up on the outside, it's the 9 of Austin. Corey Kermeyer right there running 5th. Down on the inside, that's Dustin Jordan. Spoonhauer working the outside, trying to get around Jordan. Mike Nagel Jr. on a late race charge. White flag out one more time around. Kenny Hammond working the outside now, getting around Mike Nagel Jr. Spoonhauer and Pat Jordan on the last lap. The win gonna go to Brian Mady. Second gonna go to Pat Jordan. Spoonhauer, Stahl, looked like Hammond coming across 5th. Mike Nagel Jr. 6th. Mike Austin 7th.
To open sportsman action with Leon Andrus on the microphone.
Green is out, hammers down, and we're racing. KJ, Kevin Jordan, Brian White down on the bottom. Jim Goulding and Dan Allen, Craig Pope, 42 and 43 getting together. Jan Spoonhauer up on the outside with the 34X. Down on the inside, now Brian White, Kevin Jordan, and Chance Spoonhauer on the extreme outside. 3 wide for the top spot with a caution out. Caution out, Craig Pope, slow here, coming out of 4. Green back out, Brian White. The track champions here tonight having a really good night of it so far. The crates champion Brian Madig with the win. Danny Creedon, the mod champion with the win. And now the open sportsman champion out front. And we have a caution. Out of the turn, Green is out. Kevin Jordan grabbing that top spot. Brian White, Chad Spoonhour, Eric Lee right there in the mix now. Invader Davis coming up through. Larry Meckick going to take care of him. Davis was making a charge. Larry Meckick put a kibosh to it. Green, green, green. Kevin Jordan, your leader. Brian White right there, second. Chance Spoonhour, third, down on the inside. The 34, Billy Spoonhour. Eric Lead up on the outside with the 11. Then we got Eddie White. We got Chris Jordan. The top 7 cars all right tight together. Hang on. Contact on the backstretch. The 32 of Dayton Cone. Hang on. Late. Those cars went around after the caution. Side by side into 3 out of 4. They come. Green back out. Kevin Jordan, Brian White, they have a little get together. Contact. Eric Leet, 34. Brian White back out front now. Chris Jordan, there goes one around, that's the 41. Brian White back out front. Kevin Jordan, Jan Spoonhour, Billy Spoonhour, they're all right tight together. Chris Jordan, Eric Lead, Eddie White, Steve Davis now. He's worked himself back up. Eddie White, Kevin Jordan, Steve Davis, those 3 battling for 3, 4, and 5. White flag out one more time around. Davis and Spoonhour, they're battling for 2nd and 3rd. Picking up the open sportsman feature. The win gonna go to Brian White. 2nd gonna go to Chance Spoonhour, Steve Davis, Eddie White. Kevin Jordan 5th. 6th is Bill Deckelman. 7th is Dan Allen. Larry Meckick, Chris Jordan.
And now for some street stock action. Back to Leon Andrus.
Out of 4 they come. Green is out. A lot of smoke coming out of the Brett Barrett 109 machine, the T109. Jonathan Carpenter, we got them stuck together right here off the bongo bat. And Damon Decker getting back out in time, actually, as he came out as the cars were going into the turn. He would have been okay. Then we got them stacked up here in 4 after the caution. Out of turn number 4 they come. Green is out, and we're racing. Carpenter with the early advantage. They're going to try to go 4 wide down the backstretch, leading into turn 3. And they're going to stay that way. Maybe 5 wide. Are you kidding me? John White was up on the outside. Damon Decker went in early, going to try to work his way back up through the pack. Hang on, Matt Spencer goes to T109. That's going to bring a couple guys out of shape. Everything's going to go, but one of the safety truck idiots had the lights on. They got it back off. That flagger caused cautions, not the safety truck, idiot. Hang on, mommy. More cars. That's going to bring her caution out. Got 4 laps in now. Green is out. Brett Barrett on Mosquito Patrol here tonight with his 109. Carpenter, your leader. Lance and Albanese right there second. Third belongs to Shane Wolf. Look at KJ Yeager on the move. And the 513. There goes Jerry Wilcox. He's going to go pit side with that potent 44 machine. Dustin Harris, Damon Decker, and John White, they got their own little battle going on. Albany is a little loose. Shane Wolf now getting by Yeager. Yeager trying to come back. Wolf out of shape. That lets Barrett get by. Matt Spencer got by. Brett Barrett almost going around. Here comes Gene, his racing machine, Gene Sharpstein. Taking over position 4 now. Damon Decker working his way back up through the pack. Got a car in trouble coming out of turn number 4. Slow down the front straightaway. That's Matt Bowman. He's going to go pit side. KJ Yeager out of shape over there in 2, but he keeps moving. We'll stay green. Dustin Harris now in trouble. Caution coming out. And now he finally died. Matt Spencer nowhere to go. Got hooked up. What a bad break for Spencer. He finally breaks loose. Sharpstein 3rd. Stack is 4th. Decker 5th. Spencer 6th. Coming around to win the $1,000 street stock event. A clean sweep for the Thunder Mountain champions. Jonathan Carpenter, Lance and Albanese, Gene Sharpstein, Doug Stack, Damon Decker, Matt Spencer, Eric Boynton. There they are.
When we return, a legend in our sport is honored.
You're watching the Race Report on Fox 40.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyer's program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
98.1 The Hawk, number 1 for 20 in a row.
This is Jason Aldean.
Hot new country.
This is Luke Brown.
And kiss tomorrow goodbye.
This is Charles,
Dave,
and
Hillary.
And we are
Lady Annabella.
And I don't know why I don't
take me downtown anymore.
Binghamton's Hot New Country.
This is Carrie Underwood.
Every tear-soaked whiskey memory blown away.
Binghamton's Hot New Country. 98.1 The Hawk.
Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City has the best pricing and selection of audio, video, and computer cables in the area. Don't spend a fortune on that HDMI cable for your new HD TV or Blu-ray player. Unicorn Electronics has quality cables in the lengths you need at a price you can afford. Expanding your network? Unicorn has the patch cables and accessories to make it happen. When you need to connect, think Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City.
Welcome back to the Race Report. Racing legend Bucky Dew died last week at the age of 89. Bucky helped build the original Chemung Speedrome, and he raced there, at Shangri-La Speedway, and many other tracks throughout the area. In 2015, his accomplishments at Mid-State Speedway in Morris were recognized as he was inducted in the Central New York Hall of Fame.
George Bucky Dew. How many of you knew that his first name was George? Well, I know you do, Bucky. Okay, so anyways, George Bucky Dew, what a career. He started in 1946. He actually, a lot of people don't know this, he gave a midget a try. And he decided, kind of hanging his head out there, maybe it wasn't the thing to do. It might be a little dangerous. So he got into the boom of the stock cars in the late 40s after the war, and well through the 50s. And I'll talk a little bit about the 60s and the 70s. But he ran the famous 113 coach. He was a star down at the Shangri-La Speedway in 50, and he is credited with being the first stock car track champion there, according to some of the records that I've seen. He won quite a few races. There were two names that really came up over that time frame, and that were top drivers in the early 50s in the stock cars. And that would be Bullet Bill Strozel and Bucky Dew. They fought it out for a lot of wins. And Bucky was kind of a nomad. He didn't really stick to a track and really run it a lot. He mainly focused on races where the money was, or the Finger Lakes Roadster Association or Racing Association, depending on how you call it. So he has won races, feature events, at about 15 or 16 tracks, some that we haven't even got documented yet. And some of the tracks, obviously Shangri-La Speedway, the old one, number 1, and Addison, Chemung. And then he went out west and went out to Perry and Angelica and ran out there. And he told me a very interesting story. He said, I went out there to run and they told me not to come back again because I win too much. So he then concentrated on Glen Aubrey. And he was a two-time track champion there at the Glen Aubrey Speedway, had some classic races with Tommy Ellis and Joe Donahue, and of course Bill Strozel, who was always in there. Always had a Jimmy motor in it, and it was fast. Matter of fact, Shangri-La had a bounty on him in 1952, a $100 bounty for anybody, that would beat Bullet Bill Strozel, because he had won 3 in a row. And lo and behold, Bucky shows up on a Sunday afternoon, and he kind of picked up that win, and he told me a very interesting story about that race at Shangri-La. They were coming around to 3 and 4, and he pointed out the window at Bullet Bill Strozel's front wheel, and he got a jump on him, and he went on to pick up that bonus. So the unfair advantage, I call it, or whatever you want to do. But Bucky's got so many stories, and I had the opportunity in my research on the Shangri-La Speedway to spend a long time talking about his career. The stock car racing in the 50s was, I called it the rumbling stock car era up to about 1959 or 60. I'll give you one other story about Bucky, and that's down at the Chemung Speedway. The crowds were getting a little lean down there. And so he won the feature, and Joe Donahue come up and piles right into him. They got out there and were fighting on the home stretch. It was all a show. I asked Bucky, "They have a good crowd the next week?" He said it improved the crowd. So there was a little showmanship in stock car racing, as we know. And by the way, Joe Donahue and Bucky Dew are really good friends. Unfortunately, Joe has has passed away. But so he has all kind of stories, and I would highly influence you to, or ask you to go over and talk to him after. Now, so he won a lot of track championships. He won a lot of races all over, picked up the money wherever he could. He was an over-the-road truck driver, which made it very difficult. It would be not uncommon for him to come pulling in with his truck into the racetrack. And I asked him, "Would you ever do this again if you could?" He said, "I'd do it exactly the same way that I did it. And I had a good time doing it." But he wasn't finished yet. He started running modified cars on the asphalt at Shangri-La in the 60s when it reopened. He runs super modifieds at Shangri-La, and he also drove Ernie June's car, a famous builder, innovator, up at the Oswego Speedway. And if anybody's been up there, that is kind of the super speedway of the Northeast. And he raced against some very famous drivers. So he's got a tremendous history in motorsports. And he raced here on October 22nd, 1950. It was a Sunday afternoon show here at Morris. And you had the big name, the NASCAR drivers were here, Jim Luke and Eddie Ortez. He won his heat, was in contention in the feature, and dropped out with mechanical problems. Jim Luke went on to win that race here. But so he did actually run here at this track, among many others. And he is now retired, obviously, but he's active in racing. He goes to Cuba Lake every year for the events. And his wife has been a big supporter, Hazel, his wife, who's sitting with him there, a big supporter of his racing. And matter of fact, she's got some really good stories about some of the stuff that happened in the grandstands with some other women. And I urge you to go over and ask her about the girl that she kind of gave a black eye to and met at work the next day in the hallway on a Monday. So anyways, a lot of good stories. With that, I would like to introduce you to George Bucky Dew. You want to take that? Can you take that over to him? Sure. Yeah, because he can't get up there. And you got a remote mic?
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you're all set. Boy, those models are unbelievable. That's the 113 too, all day.
Modified action from Thunder Mountain when the race report returns.
3 generations we've been building world-class American performance.
Like the new Edelbrock Power Package Top-End Kit, based on Edelbrock's powerful RPM crate engines. Each kit includes aluminum heads and intake, cam and lifters, gaskets, and hardware to build your own 400-plus horsepower Chevy small block for 3 generations. It's pure American performance from the leader. Call now for your free Edelbrock catalog.
Edelbrock makes them right here in the USA.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Welcome back to the Race Report. Please join us for racing trivia this Monday night at Brothers 2 on Watson Boulevard in Endwell. This week's bonus answer is Wine Creek Speedway. Prior to the green flag on Sunday, only 2 races remained in the Short Track Super Series, fueled by VP.
But Kenny trying to make a bid on the outside. Alan Barker going to take a bid to the bottom. Manti Lorenzo and Nick Rashinsky, they have a little contact. Parallel sticks are out. Tonkin hanging back a little bit. Doesn't want to get near skirmish there. One more time around. The MJH Oil Field Wade Decker Memorial. Out of turn 4 to 50 lap feature, gonna go to the Thunder Mountain track champion, Danny Creedon, Andy Bacchetti, Alan Barker, Mike Mahaney, Craig Hansen, Tommy Meyer, Corey Costa, Nick Rashinsky, Manti Lorenzo, Brett Tonkin, Brian Malcolm, Darwin Green, Mike Clapperton, and then we'll leave the last 5 to the scores so they have to work for their pay.
For all of us at the Race Report, thanks for watching. Until next week, I'm Ron Hills, and I'll see you at the races.
Sportsman qualifying heat race number 2. Miller now trying to close in on Yanone. Remember, if you're not in the redraw, you want to be as close as you can because they go qualify the way you go off the start-finish line. If you're 5th in this event right here, you're starting 14th come feature time. Kenny Hammond trying to make a bid to the inside of the 24 of Jordan. White flag out one more time around. Difference of 3 and 4 is just where you draw in the drawing. You could finish 4th in this and start on the pole in the feature. Checkered flag flies. The win going to go to Brian Mady, Mike Nagel, Dustin Jordan, Kenny Hammond,